Today, we are taking up the aspect of the cognizance conditions requisite. The section 190 is titled Cognizance of Offences by Magistrates. This is in chapter 14 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Chapter 14 is about conditions requisite for initiation of proceedings. As such, from lawyer's point of view, this is the first chapter where the proceedings are to be initiated. The section 190 is the first section of this chapter, and it is about cognizance of offences by magistrates. Justice system of criminal procedure in this section makes a provision how the cognizance of offences is going to be taken. And the provision is subject to the provisions of this chapter. Any magistrate of first class, any magistrate of second class, specifically empowered in this behalf under subsection 2, may take cognizance of an offence. The glaring fact is that it is only the magistrate who can take cognizance of any offence, but the same is subject to the provisions of the chapter. Now, it is magistrate's court which is empowered for taking cognizance of offences. Therefore, the first point to be taken in mind is that the Code of Criminal Procedure is settling as that cognizance of the offences is to be taken by the magistrates. As such, while we will be considering, while we will be advising our client about the way the cognizance is to be initiated, we have to be specific as that only magistrate is empowered to take cognizance. So we have to determine the jurisdiction of the magistrate over the particular area in which the particular offense has taken place and about whose cognizance initiation is to be taken. Now, this power, this empowerment for the magistrate, which is normally in practical terms is designated as Ilaka magistrate, magistrate of the area, the magistrate having jurisdiction over the area, means over the area where the offense has taken place. So we as a lawyer have to first be conscious as that which is the magistrate, which court of the magistrate, and where it is located, we have to approach. So here it is provided that cognizance is to be taken by the magistrate, but it be taken as an implied that magistrate of the area, magistrate having jurisdiction over an area. Therefore, we have to have proper information with us as to which magistrate is empowered, which magistrate is to be taken as the Ilaka magistrate, or in whose court this petition is going to be filed, complaint is going to be filed, request is to be made for taking cognizance. It is not written here. Then question will be where it is written, because we are in a system. System means a proper settled steps. So for it we have to refer to High Court rules and orders. Code of Criminal Procedure is to be read along with High Court rules and orders. High Court, having jurisdiction over the area, is empowered under Article 237 of the Constitution to frame rules. Therefore, though we will be here concentrating only upon the Code of Criminal Procedure, and we are now considering Section 190, but it be taken that this provision is complemented, supplemented, and has many other informative situations with which we shall be well acquainted. Now, this section provides as that the cognizance is to be taken by the magistrate in three different situations. The first is upon receiving a complaint of facts which constitute such an offense. Now, when a complaint of facts is filed and facts disclose the commission of an offense, therefore, here impliedly there are two conditions. It should be complaint. It should be complaint of facts, and facts shall disclose constitution of an offense. The second situation is upon a police report of such facts. The word written is such facts. Again, such facts would mean the facts which will disclose that the facts as these are constitute offense. The third situation is upon information received from any person other than police officer or upon his own knowledge that such offense has been committed. Here in clause 3, the word used is information. In clause B, the word used is report. In clause A, the word mentioned is complaint. So complaint, report, information are to be properly construed. When we are at clause A, then it amounts to that when a complaint is received by the magistrate, he can take cognizance. And while taking cognizance, it would mean that it is to be ascertained that complaint contains facts and the facts constitute an offense. In clause B, when a police report of such facts is filed, is the second situation in which magistrate will take cognizance is when police report is filed before him and that report as well on facts constitutes an offense. The third situation is upon an information. Now, this information can follow in two ways. First way is when any person coming forward and giving the information to the magistrate. The other situation is when the facts come to the knowledge of magistrate of his own. Magistrate on his own knowledge of the facts as well can take cognizance of an offense. Now, this situation upon information received from any person, here information received by the magistrate is not a complaint. It is simply an information. The person informing will tell that here are the facts. I am bringing it to your knowledge. When complaint is filed, then it makes a specific prayer that I am coming forward, I disclose, I assert these facts, and please take cognizance of the same as I am interested to go for a trial and want that this offense shall be tried. Here on a complaint, there remains little discretion about taking or not to take cognizance of an offense. However, in class C, when any information is received by a magistrate, there remains an option. An option is as that magistrate may say that you please file a complaint, or the facts as these are yet to be further ascertained by the magistrate himself before taking it as a cognizance of the offense. Now here, we as a liars, as it appears that we can invoke clause A. As far as clause B is concerned, here it is the police report. So police, this is the initiative, this is the duty, this is the responsibility of the police. The third situation is of individual persons in individual capacity and of the magistrate. A normal illustration is given that a magistrate and session judge are traveling in a bus. Some offense takes place in that bus. Then the information about the offense in a bus in which magistrate is also traveling may take cognizance on his own information, or if any other co-passenger or victim informs, even then it can be taken cognizance of. But the session judge, who is also traveling in the same bus, is not empowered to take cognizance. So from the procedure point of view, here we have to be definite as that though it is titled procedure, but in fact it is hard substantive provisions of law, as it settles which authority is empowered in which situations for what lawful steps. As such, we as liars in this situation have to take in our mind that we can be advocate, counsel of the victim or any third person in the situations that complaint is to be initiated. As far as the class B is concerned, we will have subsequently coming to it, that we can help the person concerned to file a petition, though it will be in the form of a complaint, or it may be just an application of the facts to apply to the police, ultimately for registration of case and initiation of proceedings under section 154 and other subsequent proceedings. Here also there will be a role of a liar in class B, but as far as the cognizance stage is concerned, it is only with respect to class A that we as a liar can help the client, the victim, a citizen, to initiate the proceedings of cognizance by filing a complaint. Now, the class 2D, definition D of section 2, it is defines complaint. Let us be through it. The class D reads as that complaint means any allegation made orally or in writing to a magistrate with a view to his taking action. As I was pointing out, that in class C, some information may reach the magistrate through any person, or any person may give information to a magistrate. The supplying an information to a magistrate and the complaint or of distinct ingredients, as here the complaint is defined. It means allegations made with a view to take action. So complaint is a set of facts where the facts will be in the form of an allegation, and the allegation is with respect to the offense, and the offense is such with respect to which the complainant wants that action be initiated, action be taken. Therefore, while invoking clause A, we have to be conscious that we are going to institute a complaint, and the definition of the complaint is specific. That complaint means any allegation made orally and writing or in writing to a magistrate with a view to his taking action under the code that some person, either known or unknown, has committed an offense but does not include a police report. So here in the definition of complaint as well, it is made specific that it does not include a police report. So police report is a distinct document and the complaint is a distinct document. The ingredients of complaint are given in the definition of a complaint, and these ingredients are as allegations being made, and then these allegations can be made orally or in writing. Here it is well implied that person aggrieved may appear before a magistrate and make an oral submission. It is not necessary that allegations shall be made in writing. However, in practical terms, the magistrate may ask the concerned person to reduce the same in writing, or otherwise magistrate can help the concerned person to reduce the facts in writing with the help provided as an assistance from the court, or otherwise as court proceedings itself. The court may take cognizance, but before taking cognizance, magistrate is to reduce these allegations and to prove the same and take it that these are the facts which constitute an offense, and so the further initiation of the proceedings are to take place. Here in this context, we shall be also conscious as that in section 200 it is provided that the facts, here let us go first to the section 200, and it provides that once the complaint is filed before a magistrate, then what to do. Section 200, examination of complainant. So first step to be taken by the magistrate is to examine the complainant. Here in this context, it will be relevant to take note that complaint can be oral as well, and complaint can be in writing. However, in both cases, when complaint is oral or is in writing, then the magistrate is to examine the complainant. Now, a magistrate taking cognizance of an offense on complaint shall examine upon oath. Now, magistrate taking cognizance means it is a process when magistrate has decided that here is a complaint of facts which on the face of it constitute an offense, and the complainant wants that action be taken, then the step to be taken by the magistrate is to examine the complainant. And the next section to be seen in this context is section 204, when it is said commencement of proceedings before magistrates. If on the opinion of the magistrate, taking cognizance of the offence, there is sufficient ground for proceeding and case appears to be a summons case or a warrant case, then issue a process. So summons case and warrant case are also defined in section 2. Definition 2x is of a warrant case, and the warrant case is defined as a case in which the punishment for the offense is more than 2 years. Therefore, all other cases are summons cases. It is one another classification of the offenses. As we have seen previously, that first schedule has different classifications of offenses. And here is one another classification, and this classification is in the first step of the court at the stage of issuance. Now, summons are to be issued or warrants are to be issued is also provided as per the category of the offenses made in terms of the definitions of summons case and a warrant case. Therefore, we as criminal lawyers, we have to be very conscious that filing of a complaint would mean, as per the definition of a complaint and as per the further steps permitted as cognizance subsequent stages. So the examination means the statement of the complainant. Original complaint has certain facts. Then there is a statement of a complainant. Then certainly this is to be followed by an evidence to prove it. Therefore, the complaint is to be drafted taking in mind that it is going to put a seal upon the fate of the trial in respect of a complaint. Therefore, complaint is to be properly drafted. As such, the role of a lawyer comes in by equipping the office to have a standard drafts as per the ingredients of different offenses, and for it is advisable that one shall collect certain complaints which have ultimately resulted into the successful test of law in the courts. Therefore, we as lawyers shall equip our office with the set of some standard drafts of the complaints, as same will ensure us that we are going to be for the justice delivery system as per the steps provided, accepted, recognized by the law. Yes, let us now participate. Yes, please, Subhash. Yeah, Deepak, Subhash.
So these things are quite clear now. 190, 200 and 204. These are all quite clear to us. The only thing which I want to tell is this first class and second class magistrate is what is the difference? In my opinion, first class is the chief metropolitan magistrate or chief judicial magistrate, and second class is just a magistrate. Is there a difference or there is some other difference?
You see, when we will be going to the classes of the criminal courts, then we will be knowing that the powers of the magistrates are defined these are bestowed, and it is with respect to the quantity of punishment, the dose, the extent to which a punishment or fine can be imposed by a particular magistrate that determines. Now the first class magistrate has a powers, say, up to 3 years. The second class magistrate, say, has powers up to 1 year. So it is only in terms of the punishment that the classes of magistrates have been determined, but still it is a act of powers exercised by the High Court, and it is in terms of it the magistrate is lawfully authorized to impose punishment and a fine. The offences which come up to the category of the punishment, say of 1 year for the second class, or come up to 3 years up to the class of magistrate. It is like that. We will come to it. There is a specific chapter in it, and at that time we will find a distinction between this classification, the norms of this classification. We will appreciate it. But here it simply is to be seen that magistrate, when it said second class, that means magistrate of second class, which is to try the offences of punishment up till that particular limit.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
All right, then.
Hello.
Okay, the next day we will see, tomorrow we will take up the trial of complaint cases. When a trial is to commence, as we have seen in section 204, it is the commencement of the proceedings before a magistrate. Then we will see how commencement of proceedings in the court of magistrate have to reach its end result of a trial, where particular complaint is to be tried. Now, trial on complaint as well is as per different situations. So that classification of the complaints from the point of view of trial will be taken up tomorrow.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, sir.